Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We bring to you the 6:30 edition of Prime News on My Media Prime. Thanks for joining us today. And we are live from Douala, the economic capital of Cameroon. My name is Ewane Eli. Blanche Keng. 3 alleged bandits are currently under custody at the Nkongsamba Central Police Post, intercepted during a patrol carried out yesterday evening. They were arrested or tracked and arrested after a series of complaints raised by the local population of Nkongsamba, as Fonquinta tells us in the report that follows.
Elements of the Nkongsamba Central Police Unit hitting the streets of Nkongsamba Mongo Division, Littoral region of Cameroon, in the night of Sunday, June 6, in search of hoodlums who have been terrorizing the population. The operation by police forces in the town of Nkongsamba led to the arrest of 3 suspects: Emmanuel Samuel Sinclair, Lokungwe Bruno, and Milton Brown-Awa, believed to be causing havoc in the community. During the patrol by police, one of the suspects was seen in a mobile money kiosk and another in an abandoned refrigerator. A victim narrates his experience with the thieves. Some people came on a motorbike and demanded for fuel. I opened the door and one of them pushed it. When I fell down, we fought and I was able to take the knife from him. Another came in, tied me and promised to stab me in the neck. They entered the shop and made away with attitude. The 3 suspects, accused of having stolen from a petrol point, an orange money kiosk, amongst others, were caught in possession of hard drugs, weapons they used during operation, and equally some of the items they have stolen. The 3 suspects, after their arrest, were taken to the Nkongsamba Central Police Station for investigations to begin. According to Commissioner of Police Keng, who took over Mongo Division earlier this year, the police force will put in all it takes to put an end to increasing crime wave in the entire Mongo Division.
At least 5 people have been declared dead following a fatal road accident which occurred yesterday along the Mutengene-Limbe stretch of road. According to sources, these accidents, which happened yesterday, is as a result of a head-on collision between 2 vehicles. Details in the following report.
Pain, grief and wails. This is Moliwe, the stretch of road between Mutengene and Limbe in the southwest region of Cameroon. Here is the outcome of a fatal road accident recorded yesterday. According to travelers and road users along the Mutengene-Limbe stretch of road, a bus collided with a Prado vehicle. The violent crash left several persons seriously injured, and the disturbing videos show passengers crying out in pain, some unconscious and others in critical condition. At least 5 people have been confirmed dead so far. Shocking and heartbreaking as it was, the cause of the head-on collision is still not certain, though many attribute it to speed and loss of control. Some of the injured victims were rushed to the hospital for immediate medical care, while the deceased were deposited to the mortuary pending identification and burial. This is not the first accident recorded along the Mutengene-Limbe stretch of road. Many road users have marked this stretch as a speed point where vehicles speed over the limit, leading to several accidents. This unfortunate accident is another call for road users to be extra careful while using the road.
6 new members have been appointed at the National Communication Council. A presidential decree signed on the 4th of June 2021 appointed Joseph Chebon Keng Kalabopse as president of the National Communication Council. The members will reflect on the future of the press in Cameroon. Audrey Zatza completes the story in the following report.
The one-time press hour host at the national television CRTV, Joseph Chebon Keng, henceforth replaces Peter Isoka at the head of the National Communication Council. He was appointed by presidential decree on the 4th of June in Yaoundé, alongside other 6 members of the council by separate presidential decrees. Amongst the newly appointed members is the University of Buya's Journalism and Mass Communication founding father, retired Professor Eno Tamnjong. The associates would, in their duties, be expected to regulate and sanction wayward media outlets that go against the norms of the journalism profession. With the challenges faced by the Cameroon's regulatory body, Joseph Chebonkeng feels ready to take the challenge.
First of all, I want to thank God and thank the President of the Republic for the confidence bestowed on me, and I promise him that I will be up to the task.
It should be noted that this decision by President Paul Biya comes only 2 days after the private media practitioners in Cameroon discussed current media challenges during a press luncheon organized by NCC in Yaoundé under the theme, The Economic Viability of the Media in Cameroon, a meeting chaired by the then President Peter Isoka.
Buya Council has recorded a 69.5% increase in its revenue collection for the financial year 2020. This was revealed by the Mayor of Buya Council, Mayor David Mafanina Mange, during the first ordinary session for Buya Council. This increase, according to the Mayor, is due to the hard work of workers. Details with Clarissa Koy.
Out of the sum of 2.5 billion francs CFA set aside as projected revenue collection for the 2020 financial year of the Buya Council, 69.5% was realized for the 2020 financial year, down from 59.2% in 2019. This increase in revenue collection for the Buya Council was revealed by Barrister David Mafanina Mange, Mayor of the Buya Council, during this first ordinary session of the Buya Council set aside to examine the administrative, management and stores management account for the council for the year 2021.
Taking into consideration the ugly face of the COVID-19 pandemic and the socio-political crisis in the northwest and southwest regions, we still manage, thanks to some devoted staff and the population of Buya, not leaving out the councillors and administration, the forces of law and order, they all accompanied us to realize a budget of slightly above 69.5% in revenue, and in expenditure we're close to 60%. With what we realized that thanks to God and those I cited, it was a positive year. We could have done better if we were living in peace.
In his opening speech, Mayor David Mafani indicated that despite the prevailing context of the COVID-19 and the socio-political crisis that has greatly affected the activities of the Buya Council, some projects including the payment of salary arrears, payment of retirement benefits, payment of inherited debts, among others, were realized.
We have cleared salaries, arrears, we have paid salaries up to date in our Buya Council, and other investments were carried out. And I want to say that, like some roads, the street lighting of Buya municipality, we dug some boreholes because water is a problem in Buya. And we are going to continue in those areas.
Representing the SDO for Fako, the first deputy SDO for Fako, Madame Mereli Ufo, in her keynote address, congratulated the council for its efforts towards the fight against insecurity and measures to curb the spread of COVID-19 within the municipality, while reassuring the council of the constant support of the administration and the forces of law and order.
Members of Parliament for Fako have extended a hand of support to the senior divisional officer for the renovation of the roof blown away by a violent wind on the 30th of May 2021. Details with Kumono Rimbum.
Some political elites from Fako division recently paid a courtesy visit to the senior divisional officer for Fako to abreast themselves with the level of advancement of renovation works since the violent wind that blew off the roof of the senior divisional officer's office on the early hours of Monday the 30th of May 2021. The delegation, which comprised of the city mayor, Mutanga Andrew, Honorable Etombi Ekombe Gladys, Honorable Findi Stanley, and Senator Papinatu Fonderson, were received by the senior divisional officer, Emmanuel Engamba Ledu, at the balcony of his office and was followed by a brief exchange. Speaking on behalf of the delegation, Honorable Itombi Ikombe-Gladys said their presence at the SDO's office is to sympathize with those who work at the SDO's office, given that the Fako's prefectorate is at the center of administrative activities in Fako Division.
We have been here as individuals, but today we decided to come as a group to see what we can also do to support the work. As you see, the work is going on already, and we know that the SDO's office is an office which receives everybody for different purposes, and they shouldn't be in a state where people cannot use it for what they have to do for a long time.
On his part, Senator Papinato Fonderson added that the visit is another form of sensitization campaign for them to make proposals for the government to build a new senior divisional officer's office for Fako or completely renovate the A's monumental structure.
This particular building, the SDO's office, is a monument on itself. You can see by its side, you can see the monument of Africa. The building too happens to be one of the oldest buildings in Limbe. With so much like this senior divisional office here, our prayer is that the government should either do something, either to renovate the building completely or to make provision for a brand new senior divisional office for Fako Division. Those are some of the things that we can do.
The SDO thanked the elites for coming to his aid in such a trying moment, giving him the assurance that the people of Fako are loving and friendly. He added that the support will go a long way to facilitate the renovation works, adding to an earlier support from the City Council and the 3 subdivisional councils in Limbe.
The death of a prominent Nigerian prophet, Temitope Joshua, announced early yesterday, has sparked emotions from in and out of Africa. The man, described by many as a servant of God, slept in the Lord after a life transforming ministration on Saturday. Details with Nora Kakebi.
It was with shock and disbelief as Christians across Africa and the world learned of the death of Prophet TB Joshua on Saturday, June 5th, 2021, just a week to his 58th birthday. Temitope Balogun Joshua was a Nigerian charismatic pastor and founder of the Synagogue Church of All Nations, a Christian mega-church which has been described as Nigeria's tourism attraction, with thousands of foreigners flocking to attend the church's weekly services. To some people, the prophet might have been fake and false, but to others, he was simply a Messiah. He was a celebrated man of God and a prophet who believed that service to the Lord is ultimate, a belief he was born for, lived for, and died for. The late prophet said the greatest way to use life is to spend it on something that will outlive it. Through his sermons and activities, the cleric also played prominent roles in reconciling broken homes and restoring families torn apart. Prophet TB Joshua carried out several humanitarian services to the needy, especially the widows, jobless youths, as well as the elderly. He always willingly reached out to several communities in distress. Local reports say he spent over $20,000 on education, healthcare, and rehabilitation programs for former Niger Delta militants. It should be noted that the late prophet was awarded several accolades, notably receiving the Officer of the Order of the Federal Republic of Nigeria by the country's government in 2008. He was equally voted the Yoruba Man of the Decade by the Pan-Yoruba media outlet. The Pan-African magazines called him one of Africa's 50 most influential people. According to Forbes, TB Joshua was Nigeria's 3rd richest pastor. Tributes have been pouring in from different pastors and mourners for the late cleric. His wife, Mrs. Evelyn Joshua, says, losing a loved one is never easy but heartbreaking. The man of God leaves a legacy of service and sacrifice to God's kingdom that is living for generations yet unborn. May his soul rest in peace.
Reactions have continued to flood in following the death of TB Joshua, which came as a shock to many. The words of the heart or reactions from all corners of the world are addressed to family members and followers of the late prophet. Gladys Bomotongina in the French language.
Temitope Balogun Joshua, plus connu sur le nom de TB Joshua, charismatique et puissant homme de Dieu. Né le 12 juin 1963 Ondo, Nigeria, est décédé le 5 juin 2021. Il laisse toute la communauté chrétienne en larmes, mais surtout en joie, car pour la plupart, il avait accompli sa mission sur terre avec succès. Le prophète T.B. Joshua, leader de la synagogue Church of All Nations, a laissé derrière lui un très grand héritage et sacrifice pour le royaume de Dieu qui continuera d'être fonctionnel même plusieurs années après sa mort. Des témoignages et messages de condoléances viennent donc de toutes parts, que ce soit de la part des hommes de Dieu.
We can do this service without paying a strong tribute to a brother, a friend, Prophet T.B. Joshua. Prophet T.B. Joshua is...
Nous ne pouvons pas faire ce service sans faire mention d'un frère, d'un ami, T.B. Joshua. Je ne peux prêcher ni avancer sans parler de lui. Il n'est pas juste un prophète, c'est un don pour l'Église, le corps du Christ. Il a pris les boulettes du ministère prophétique pour que certains d'entre nous aient un chemin aplani. Il était une aide pour beaucoup, même des musulmans. Il m'a dit un jour, je ne crains plus rien, j'ai déjà accompli beaucoup. Que de la part des célébrités sur les réseaux sociaux et bien sûr de ses fans.
No, this man is the man of the world. And this man is a pillar.
C'était un homme du peuple. Il a accompli son œuvre. Certains vont même jusqu'à dire qu'il était le second Jésus. C'était le Jésus de cette génération. Repose en paix, prophète T.B. Joshua. Tu auras été une source d'inspiration pour plusieurs.
You're watching Prime News on My Media Prime. A tree planting exercise involving students of PGHS Mile 4 Limbe took place over the weekend, organized by an international non-profit making organization, ASEF, with headquarters in Limbe, southwest region of Cameroon. This exercise is part of activities to mark the 2021 edition of World Environment Day, which was celebrated on Saturday. Eileen Sama reports.
Africa Climate and Environment Foundation, ASEF, commemorated World Environment Day in Limbe Fako Division of the Southwest Region on Saturday, June 5 at PGHS Mile 4, during which educative talks were held with the students of the school on the dangers of climate change and the need to protect the environment by planting trees for the recycling of the ecosystem. The Secretary General of ASEF is Tojo Berry.
Commemorate the World Environment Day, which is celebrated tomorrow. We started with the markets, big markets institution, try to encourage the people who are ignorant about the environment. So we try to tell them. Then secondly, we did clean up, try to encourage the people around there that properly dispose this waste will not block our waters, causing the development of our school. So we also try to visit the botanic garden, at least visit trees, various trees species. So like, and we try to run a little documentary to encourage people that if nature is like the botanic garden, we will have a very comfortable environment.
It is worth mentioning that ASEF is currently running an urban greening project in the city of Limbe, as well as several other cities across Africa, and with a few months of its existence, has received over 600 members and volunteers cut across 20 African countries, addressing issues relating to poverty, climate change, biodiversity loss, environmental degradation, health care, among others. Tojo Berry took out time to educate the students on the importance of proper waste management, especially plastic waste, which is a huge climatic nuisance to most African countries, and Cameroon in particular.
We are trying to preach the 3 R's, which is to reuse, to reduce, and to recycle. We are also urging the community to be innovative, because we have seen cases where somebody built a building with plastic. Yes, some people even design trash cans with plastic. I saw a garden that somebody did plastic. So if we can come up with innovative ideas that can help to reuse those plastics, it will
Meantime, it is worth noting that the objectives of this non-profit-making organization are safe, falls in line with the 17 Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations.
Cameroon joined other countries last Saturday to commemorate the 2021 edition of World Environment Day under the theme Ecosystem Restoration. As part of activities to mark the day, members of Women for Environment, a Boya-based non-profit making organization, demonstrated this year's theme, visiting Limbe to restore the botanical garden. Dolingonde in the following report.
This year's edition of the World Environment Day has been commemorated under the theme Ecosystem Restoration. The day, which is considered to be one of the most remarkable ones for enhancing environmental action, thereby creating awareness amongst people to be eco-friendly, has witnessed this Boyo-based non-governmental organization, Women for Environment, responding to the Ecosystem Restoration theme. In collaboration, the team engaged in an active cleanup campaign by discarding of waste plastic materials, leaves, and other elements which are not eco-friendly, all in a bid to restore and safeguard the environment.
It was a privilege for women to partake in the celebration of World Environment Day. We came to Botanic Gardens to do our own part as an organization which is involved in the environment. So what we were here to do was to cleanse the garden so that it will look beautiful and it will be restored.
Talking to this gardener, he says he is very overwhelmed with this initiative by women, given it also falls in line with the garden's objectives, which he further terms the pride of the people.
We are happy you people came. Something for us, something is our pride, the pride of the Lindemann, the pride of Cameroon. And we are really very proud that Women for Environment decided to come and work with us to keep it clean today.
And as an active member of WOMEF, being a part of the Eco-Restoration Response Call, this lady says it's been an amazing activity.
Commemorating the World Environment Day, we had a very wonderful experience in the Botanic Garden Linde, that is the southwest region of Cameroon. This is a touristic site, so we came to take part in cleaning and keeping the environment clean because it's a touristic site, so that when tourists come around, they'll see the environment clean.
Since 1974, the World Environment Day has always been celebrated every June 5th annually, and this 47th edition kickstarts the UN Decade on Ecosystem Restoration from 2021 to 2030 with the hope to revive hectares of land.
World Environment Day 2021, which was celebrated on a Saturday, addressed key issues on environmental action as well as the promotion of the investment in nature for better life and overall health. This year's edition was commemorated or celebrated within the context of a global health crisis. Details with Bukengo Kimiaworthy.
Hurricanes, drought, tornadoes, heat waves and floods are some natural disasters triggered by climate change born by some human activities such as fast forest burning, deforestation, animal agriculture, as well as waste and recycle pollution. Around the world, an estimated 2.3 kilograms of trash, which is one of the highest content of methane, is produced by an individual daily, amounting to 711 kilograms yearly and 11.6 trillion per individual per year globally.
We are rapidly reaching the point of no return for the planet. We face a triple environmental emergency: biodiversity loss, climate disruption, and escalating pollution. For too long, humanity has cut down the Earth's forests, polluted its rivers and oceans, and plowed its grasslands into oblivion.
Around the world, 56 billion animals are being raised yearly for food purposes, and dung by these animals are mostly used by some farmers as manure. It should be noted that this dung constitutes of highly toxic gases such as hydrogen sulfate, methane, ammonia, which are high triggers of life-threatening diseases and health conditions like liver failure, autoimmune hepatitis, neurodegenerative disease, lung disease, asthma disease, tuberculosis, and more.
Earlier this year, WHO released a manifesto for a healthy and green recovery from COVID-19. calling on governments to protect nature, support clean energy sources, sustainable food systems, and healthier cities, and reduce polluting activities. Our manifesto highlights that investments that help to prevent disease, protect health, and mitigate climate change will also contribute to the much-needed economic and social recovery from the pandemic.
Worthy of note is the fact that at least 7 fields and plain lands are being bulldozed every minute to create space for cattle rearing, thus reducing the absorption of carbon dioxide by plants, trees, and forests.
We are ravaging the very ecosystems that underpin our societies. And in doing so, we risk depriving ourselves of the food, water, and resources we need to survive. The degradation of the natural world is already undermining the well-being of 3.2 billion people, or 40% of humanity. Luckily, the earth is resilient, but she needs our help. We need to replant and protect our forests. We need to clean up our rivers and seas, and we need to green our cities.
Converting energy to solar energy, cut down on deforestation, implementing the use of reusable and renewable resources are some great, efficient and healthy ideas for better, safe and healthier environment and health.
Thanks, Bukengo Kemia Worthy. In sports, we'll talk about the Cameroon International Cycling Tour. Clovis Tamnjong Abesolo retains the yellow jersey of the 17th edition on the 8th day, which was yesterday, after a laudatory course over a distance of 146 kilometers. Details with Tape Keng in the French language.
L'ambiance est phénoménale au boulevard du 20 mai de Yaoundé, lieu de cérémonie de clôture du Tour cycliste international du Cameroun 2021. Le Camerounais Clovis Abosolo est maillot jaune de la 17e édition. Il a fait preuve de bravoure hier dimanche lors de la dernière journée de la compétition en 25h25 9 secondes sur une distance de 972,7 km selon le classement général. Ça fait au moins 5 ans que le Cameroun n'avait plus arboré le maillot jaune. Ce n'est qu'un passé aujourd'hui avec cette victoire. Le vainqueur de cette dernière journée est l'athlète de l'équipe nationale du Burkina Faso, Paul Domon, en 3h52 30 secondes d'après le classement de l'étape. Il a reçu 240 000 francs CFA. En remportant également le maillot vert, le Bulgare de l'équipe nationale, Genov Nicolas, a gagné le maillot à pois rouge, tandis que le maillot blanc a été décerné à Léonien Alexandre de la Martinique Sport Cyclisme. À côté du maillot jaune, Tamnjong Abosolo a reçu aussi celui de la couleur bleue. Cette arrivée de la dernière étape de la 17e édition du Tour cyclisme international du Cameroun était présidée par le ministre des Sports et de l'Éducation physique, Nassis Noel Kombi, en présence du représentant du gouverneur, du centre et du président de la FECA Cyclisme et d'autres personnalités. Ils ont apprécié les belles performances des athlètes en général et ceux du Cameroun en particulier, dont est issu le maillot jaune longtemps attendu.
That's it. Prime News ends here. Thanks for being a part of today's edition of Prime News on My Major Prime. See you tomorrow at 6:30. God willing, for another edition of Prime News. Lasha Kingsley coordinated the news, produced by Ewane Eli Nolinga. My name is Blanche Peldrine keng. Stay tuned to My Major Prime. Right after now, we have a Prime Hour with Kumlunad. Happy viewing and good night.